Okay, good evening, everyone. It's 7 o'clock. So we can go ahead and get started. We'll start off with the roll call. And then I have a few things I want to go over before we get into the agenda. So I'll start with Ward 1, Commissioner Young.
Present.
Hi, Ann. Commissioner Ward 2.
Present.
Hi, Artist. Ward 3, Commissioner Wanda Wheatley is present. Ward 4, Commissioner Givens.
Present.
Hi, Demetrius. At large, Commissioner Yuri. Is Commissioner Yuri with us tonight? It doesn't sound like she's joined us yet, but we do have a quorum, so we'll go ahead and move forward with the meeting. So it's 7:01. So I don't know if everyone had a chance to go over the agenda or look at the minutes for tonight's meeting, but we've made a few changes, or at least the admin office has made a few changes. So the format for the meeting minutes, if you go into the links, you'll see each minute or each topic on the agenda has its own minutes. And so it's kind of easier for you to follow. So what I'd like for everyone to do, if you haven't had a chance, is to look at the agenda for tonight. And if there's anything that you want to talk about that's not currently listed, we can add it. I'm on a new device and it's acting kind of funny. Get it straight.
This is Ann Young. Can I mention a couple of things?
Yeah, give me a second. Give me a second. I'm not finished. Just give me a second. So
I thought you'd ask for anyone who wanted to add things.
Yeah,
but I'll wait.
Yeah, give me a second.
That's fine. Go ahead.
So the next thing I wanted to say is that if you look at the links, and Consuelo, can you make the screen a little bit bigger? I don't know if it's mine. Okay, that's great. Yeah, I'm on a new device, so it's kind of hard for me to see. So like I was saying, the way that they're doing the agenda now is that, and the way they're doing the minutes is that if you click on the links under, like if you go to the first one, yeah. If you click on that.
Click on it?
Yes, please. So as you see, if you could scroll down to show everyone how the minutes are being documented. So
Can you see the minutes?
We can. Each agenda item from the previous meeting will have its own separate minutes. So it makes it kind of easier to follow. So we don't have to keep going back and forth and flipping from page to page. So this is how we'll be approving the minutes from now on. Hopefully it'll work. I mean, if we find that it's not working, then we can go back to the old way. But I think this will work. At least I find it easier to follow. So as I was saying, and everyone else, if there's anything up here that you want to talk about that's not listed, now would be the time to add it. Also, anything that we talk about during the meetings that's not part of the agenda, to show that it's being recorded or documented, or well, if it's something of significance that we need to document, then the admin office is going to put down like other items discussed. So that way we'll make sure we capture everything. So Ann, you said you wanted to add a few things.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. Actually, it was just one, and I should have mentioned this to Greg earlier. I see the tree removal at 37th Parkwood is on the Public Works. But I thought we were also going to talk about the need for a light on Parkwood. So maybe we can talk about that when we get to the Public Works.
Sure. So Ms. Barbara, if you could add a bullet for C under public works. So we'll have A, B, and C. And C would be for the lights on Parkwood Street, sorry. So used to saying Parkwood Court. Does anyone want to add anything else on the agenda tonight? So we can make sure that we capture any minutes? And if you don't have anything to add, we can just go with what we have. So Ms. Barber, can you scroll up a little bit so they can see the entire? Because we have like 13 items, I think. Okay. So there it is. So if no one has anything else to add, we'll go with the agenda as is, with the one addition by Commissioner Young. And then we can go ahead and get started. So now we're ready to approve the minutes and the financials for June. So I've already sent my edits in to the admin staff, and my edits were already made. So I have no corrections or edits, but does anyone else have anything they want to say about the minutes and the financials? Well, the minutes right now, because I guess we're just doing the minutes. Any changes? Miss Barbara, could you click on the link to give people a chance to look at it in case they don't have it in front of them?
What's that?
The first one, June 1st. We're going through the agenda. So these are the minutes from June 1st. If you don't have any edits, we'll go to the next meeting, which was June 9th. Hearing no edits or comments, let's go to the next one. June 9th. I believe this is the meeting that I was not present, so you guys can look over it or let me know if anything is missing. Because again, I didn't attend this meeting. Is that the whole thing? Was it something else at the bottom?
And there's quite a bit more.
Oh, okay.
It's a long set of minutes. I was
Yeah.
just trying to give people a chance to read through it.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that was a long meeting. I'm not sure. But it was a lot of stuff discussed. Okay. So I guess the minutes are fine. I guess we need to look at the financials next. Any questions, comments, edits regarding the financial documents?
I have one question.
Go ahead.
The trike professional mobility, 9,355. Part of that was paid for by a grant, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Was it 5,000 or like that?
Yeah, I believe it was 5,000. Chief, are you on the line?
It wasn't that much. It was in the minutes.
No, it was 3,000.
Yeah, it was
3,000.
3,000. It wasn't that much.
3,000. So we voted to pay the rest ourselves.
That's correct.
Okay. I thought I remembered that there had been a grant. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Artist, did you have a question? Oh, no questions or comments. Okay, thank you.
Yes, and I don't know if you saw the text from Danielle, but she texted and said that she had an emergency. She's not going to be able to make the meeting.
No, I didn't see it. Thank you.
Okay.
It doesn't sound like there are any other questions. Did you click on the next one, cash payables? Can we see that one, please?
Yes, ma'am. I'll put it up again. Can you see it?
Yes. Okay, I think I've seen this page. I saw it. Okay. So if there's no questions or comments, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes and financials for June.
Commissioner Givens, I make a motion to approve the minutes and financials.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is there a second?
I second Commissioner Amarche.
Thank you, Commissioner. Call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Commissioner Givens, aye.
Commissioner Young, aye.
Commissioner Amarche, aye.
Commissioner Wheatley, aye. Commissioner Uri is absent. Motion passes. Next on our agenda tonight are public comments. So do we have any public attendees? Let's see. Look like we have a few people. If you would like to say something, please just either raise your hand or you can take yourself off of mute. I'll give you a few seconds to do that. Let's see. It's Something in the chat. No comments from Linda Page. Okay. All righty. Well, doesn't sound like we have any public comments at this time. Of course, if some do come up later on during the discussion, we'll be happy to listen. So next on our agenda tonight is old business. I think the first item is the Juneteenth resolution. And we did discuss this at last week's work session. As you all know, this is a new holiday enacted by the president. And we did give the staff off for that day, June 19th. Ms. Barber, do you want to bring the resolution up?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I brought it up. You can't see it. I have to stop sharing and reshare.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. I think I have to read the title.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
You want me to
thank
make it bigger?
No, it's fine. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
So resolution 2021-03. Authorizing the change in employee handbook procedures to include Juneteenth, June 19th as an official holiday. So I know we discussed this last week, everyone. Did you want to discuss it further? Or would you like to just make the motion or call for the vote?
I'll make a motion if no one has any comment that we adopt this. Commissioner Young.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is there a second?
Commissioner
Do we
Givens.
need to read it out?
Yeah, Commissioner Givens, are we supposed to do two readers on the ordinance or not?
Well, this is a resolution, so I
Oh,
didn't
oh.
think we had to do two readers.
I thought it said ordinance. Okay, maybe you're right.
No, it's a resolution. Ms. Barber,
Okay.
Ms.
Right,
Barber.
on the resolution, you don't have to do the two.
Right,
readings.
right.
That's on the
That's good.
ordinance.
I thought it was an ordinance. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah,
it's fine.
Commissioner Givens, I second.
Thank you, Commissioner. Call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Commissioner Givens.
Aye, Commissioner Wheatley.
That was me earlier, Commissioner Young.
Okay, thank you. And I believe Commissioner Armistead, you indicated aye as well.
Correct, yes.
Yes, so that is 4 ayes, and Commissioner Uri again is absent. Motion passes. That's good. Okay, next on the agenda is the sidewalk RFP. Ms. Barber, are you gonna discuss that one, or is that Mr. Pinkney who's discussing that one?
Well, we were kind of gonna tag team on that. I can't tell if Greg is on the call yet. I'm trying to see.
Mhm.
I don't see him on the call. Mr. Pinkney was going out of town this evening.
Right.
So I will handle that since I don't see him on the line. The sidewalk RFP, if you all will recall, is the project that we are using CDBG grant funds to do new sidewalks throughout the town. We issued an RFP back in May for the work and received 2 bids. One of the bids, there was some confusion because we didn't realize when we wrote the RFP that the due date was on a holiday and that we would be closed. So they were due that Monday of Memorial Day. And one was left in our mailbox, as it should have been. And then the other one, the gentleman came up to the town hall, noticed that we weren't open and didn't leave it. He brought it by that following Monday morning. And the question was whether or not we would accept his bid due to the confusion. And we did check with Mr. Best. Mr. Best, I think, is on the line. And he said that it would be appropriate if we wanted to accept the bid, to accept the bid. So the question is whether or not you all want to accept the bid that was brought in that following, Tuesday morning, as a viable bid for the project. That's the first part of it.
You just need us to tell you if we are okay with accepting the bid,
Yes, ma'am, that's the first part.
and it's fine with me.
Fine with me. He tried.
Same. Fine with me, Commissioner.
Commissioner Gibbons, fine with me.
Okay, if that's the case, then what I will do is I will turn my camera on and I will stop screen sharing. Turn my video on. I think it's on. Oh, here it is. And so I have one bid is from Choice Concrete that is unopened, and then we have another bid that we do not know who it's from. We'll open the first one here. It is from DIR Construction Incorporated. And the total bid amount is $149,500. And I'll open the second bid,
Can you repeat that bid again? How much was it?
$149,500.
This is for all the sidewalks in the town?
All the sidewalks that were identified in the RFP, yes, ma'am.
And what are we doing to the sidewalks?
We're replacing them and repairing them.
Because I know we just replaced, we just had the 88
88 ramps put in,
88
yes,
ramps
ma'am.
put in. So we
Yes,
wouldn't
ma'am.
be redoing those sidewalks, would we?
We wouldn't redo the ramps, no, ma'am. We would add ramps that weren't included and redo the sidewalk.
How many
Not
sidewalks is it?
all the sidewalks, not all the sidewalks. It's just the
Yeah,
side
not all of the sidewalk. It's just sidewalks
As
that were identified in the
damaged.
RFP.
that were damaged, through raised up and cracked and so on and so forth. There was a number of them that Greg had went through and assessed.
Can you tell me how many?
Well, let's get through
9,000
this.
square feet, 9,000 square feet of sidewalk. 500 square feet of curb and gutter.
Thank you.
The second bid by Choice Concrete is for $158,434. Again, that's Choice Concrete. Total bid is $158,434. So at this point, without going through the bids, the apparent low bidder is DIR Construction Incorporated. We will have to review the bids to make sure that they are responsive and meet all of the criteria set forth in the RFP. What we would then do is award the bid and hold a pre-construction meeting with the winner of the bid. We would have to hold that pre-construction meeting in conjunction with the county, since the funds are from the county. I did talk with the county by email this week, and they have indicated that they are not sure when we will get to the pre-construction meeting because the environmental review is still not complete. We are in discussions with the county about the environmental review because that was already done on our dime from the grant funds. And we are trying to expedite the project since it's been languishing so long with the county. They are still working from home. And so I believe that is some of the cause for the delay, but we are trying to move the project along. So when I find out that information, I will keep you all informed as to a start date and when the anticipated completion date is.
So we only got the 2 bids.
That's correct.
Mm. Okay.
How much was the grant for the sidewalks?
I don't want to say right offhand because I don't know the exact figure. I can send that to you. I believe it was 168,000, but I'd have to look in my file.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you. We can proceed.
Thank you.
I have a question also. If the grant was for 168, and I think one bid was like 150 and one was 158, do we have any information on the kind of work each of the bidders are known to do?
We would check their references before we made the award.
Because if one has really good references and the other one doesn't, and the grant would cover the larger one, we might want to go with the larger one. Just a
But we
thought.
also have to see if they can meet the requirements of the completion date. The completion date with the original grant was supposed to be August, the beginning of August. However, since we've been delayed with the county, we do not believe that that's going to be a viable completion date. So we will have to issue either an amendment to the RFP, or we will have to throw out these bids and rebid the RFP if the bids are only good for 90 days. I have to read them to make sure of how long the bids are good for, because as I said, they did come in May and at the end of May. And because of the delay with the county, we have been delaying opening the bids, hoping that we would have the go-ahead from the county. We do not have that at this time, and we cannot proceed without having the pre-construction meeting with the county.
I agree with Ann. I definitely think we should check the references, because sometimes going with the lower bid doesn't always work.
We will.
Any other information you want to give us in regards to the sidewalks?
No, ma'am.
Are there any other questions or comments in regards to the sidewalks?
My only other, this is Commissioner Young, my only other question or comment, and I'm sure Greg was already planning to do this, but we went around town, pardon me, around town looking at the drainage issues, and some of those had to do with sidewalks. And so I'm sure he'll make sure that those ones are covered. He mentioned during our tour that certain ones were covered, but we probably want to make sure that, well, if the bid was based on a certain description and there were more things than that, that may cause a problem, but it's just an issue that we want to at least look at.
Yes, ma'am.
Next on our agenda is new business. Senior van services. Is that going to be taken care of by you, Ms. Barber?
Yes, ma'am. So you'll recall from the work session that we discussed the options for our seniors that used to utilize the Port Towns transportation system or the bus. And given that the town has withdrawn its participation temporarily until we get issues straightened out with the agreement, the town wanted to offer a option to the participants and using the van that we have. Mr. Fred Hill has graciously agreed to drive the van on Mondays and Thursdays between the hours of 10 to 2 to accommodate any callers that would need to have a trip that would be in the same 5-mile radius that the Port Towns transportation system serviced. We did this week personally call all of the participants that were listed on the list from Colmar Manor for the past year and let them know that the van services would be offered. We instructed them how to schedule a ride on the van service and that the services would start this week. We did not have any callers this week so far. There is a waiver of liability for transportation services that was attached to the agenda. I can bring that up for you. This was crafted by myself and reviewed by the attorney. I have to stop sharing so I can show it to you.
But I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I guess I didn't realize that we were going to provide this for anybody other than Cottage City residents.
We are not.
Oh, I thought you said Colmar Manor.
I said Colmar Manor gave me the list of people who wrote it for.
Oh,
the town of
okay, but
Cottage City.
it was Cottage City people, not, okay, thanks.
Yes. So what you see on your screen is the waiver of liability and hold harmless transportation agreement that the riders would be asked to sign before they ride in the van. And this is to protect the town from any liability. If you all have had a chance to review it, what I would ask this evening is that you approve it for use. And as I said, Mr. Best did have a chance to review it and make some changes. And he is on the line if you have any questions about the legal sufficiency of it.
Has anyone had a chance to look at this document? Any of the commissioners? I can say I have not.
I have not, but I'm giving it a quick read right now.
Yeah, me too.
Same here.
So I got a question. So are you, is this document to release the town? Like if the town had an accident, right? If the driver had an accident and someone were injured, are you saying that, is this to say that they wouldn't have any recourse to have their injuries covered? Ms. Barber? That's the question.
I'm
for you.
going to defer that to Mr. Best. But that is my understanding if you read the last paragraph of it.
Okay, Mr. Best?
The answer is yes.
Okay, well, I can say that I think that I don't agree with that. I mean, if you're in anybody's car and you get injured, I mean, you know, you're going to, I believe you should have some type of right to, you know, for your damages. I mean, you know, for your injuries to be covered. I mean, I mean, I can't imagine anybody. I mean, if you rode in my car and I got into an accident, yeah, my insurance company's got to cover you, you know, for your injuries, you know, as they should. That's what having insurance is all about. So I'm not sure why this would delete anyone from having coverage. Does anyone have any comment on that?
Yes, this is Chief Ayers. Legit has a umbrella covering individuals inside a vehicle in reference to if they get injured, they will go ahead and you know, take care of their medical expenses if it's our fault. If it's the other person's fault, their insurance will take care of that. But I can actually call legit and get that that policy so it can be seen by the commission about our vehicles and about people inside our vehicles. But I think what this is doing is holding us not liable for, you know, lawsuits and stuff like that. That's the main thing we're trying to do with the waiver.
You all will also recall that the question was raised whether or not if we provided a Lyft or Uber voucher, what would be the liability that the town would take on? And this would absolve the town from any liability in that regards as well, I believe, Mr. Best. Is that not correct?
No, actually, I thought that was the route you wanted to take, but you told me that was not. You're going to use your own vehicle. Therefore, this was changed to accommodate that second option.
Okay.
I will say that you're going to need to check with Legit. They may require a rider and a different premium for this. It could add cost to the town. You know, I think it goes both ways. You know, it's not uncommon for public entities when people to enter a recreation facility. I'm getting a lot of feedback. When people enter a recreation facility or other municipal park or facility or transportation service, that they will sign such a liability and hold harmless agreement. Some towns make it a political decision that they don't do that, as Commissioner Gibbons seems to indicate. But it is quite common that cities and towns have such a hold harmless agreement. But it's up to you. It's a political decision.
I think we need to check with Legit and see if it would add something, how much it would add. Because it doesn't look real great, and with a lot of the people that are going to be taking the bus, I mean, they may not be in a position to have much more that would cover them on their own, sort of.
Well, clearly we're not, this is not something that, I mean, Mr. Best drafted this in regards to the Uber voucher system, which Uber, just so you know, Uber has insurance. So of course we would be absolved of any responsibility because Uber has an insurance rider policy for those who ride inside those vehicles. So this is not applicable. It doesn't sound like it's applicable. Well, I mean, it could be applicable if you wanted it to, I guess, but I wouldn't agree with this. If you're riding in the town's car and you get injured, I think that you should have some recourse to have your injuries covered. So I yield back.
Let me just interject. No, I did not write this for Uber. That was what I was told was the first tack that the town was going to take. I wrote this specifically for the town's use of its own vehicles to provide transportation, because I was given two options. I was told that the town changed from the first option with Uber or some other common carrier to the town's own vehicle. And so I wrote it with that fully knowledgeable to me when it was explained by Miss Barber.
And remember, my job is to mitigate risk for the town in all instances. So I understand what Commissioner Gibbons is saying, but I have to offer this to you all as a matter of practice, because I believe that it is our responsibility to try and mitigate risk for the town.
Yeah,
And
but
I hope you can appreciate that.
All right, let me ask a question. Because I think the chief is on to something here. All in the state of Maryland, all vehicles have to have insurance. And under those insurance policies, they line out what those vehicles cover. Like on my insurance policy, it says each individual person, blah, 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 you know, and how much damage and stuff like that. It breaks it down. I forgot what they call that. So I can't imagine that we're asking someone to ride, to give them a ride, and then they not have access to an insurance policy that the town has to cover just what that is. I mean, I don't understand how that, so I actually think we should just stop, take a minute, put this on hold and speak to Legit to ascertain, because we're just kind of going around in circles with opinions here, which, and we don't actually have all the facts.
I don't think that's not what I heard.
I agree. We need to just ask Legit how much it would be to add this type coverage.
Excuse me, Chief. Chief,
Yes, ma'am.
are there any officers on duty tonight?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, there's a little incident going on over here.
All
I don't
right.
know if you guys could hear it.
Okay, I call Thompson now. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's yeah. The gentleman is leaving, but he's very upset.
If it pleases the commission, then I can check with Legit tomorrow morning and let you know by email what any additional coverage would be required and what that would cost.
Can I just say something real quick? So that I understand what we're going over. It sounded like the chief was saying that we do have coverage with Legit. It also sounds like Ms. Barber and Mr. Best are saying that this document, the waiver, is relieving the town of any obligations, but it's not relieving the insurance policy of any obligation, just the town. Or am I?
Let me explain. Legit, even if they do provide insurance, may recommend this hold harmless agreement. Nonetheless, you do need to check. I think the chief is referring to the umbrella policy as it pertains to the use of town vehicles to transport employees and guests of employees in the vehicle, if that happens to happen. But this is quite different. This is a program to provide transportation services for the entirety of your population. So I would be surprised and amazed if they don't require some sort of a rider or special policy. But you can check, and so you can do a cost benefit analysis to find this out and see what they say about the hold harmless agreement as well, in tandem with appropriate insurance. All right.
Yeah, I think we need to check with Legit, but I don't think that this I don't think we're saying that they can't, if they get injured, that they don't have any recourse whatsoever. That's not the way I took it. I mean, because what were we doing with Comar Manor's bus? If they were to get in an accident and something happened over there with one of our residents, they would have to cover them or cover their injuries. So
let me explain that as well. We are saying in this hold harmless agreement and waiver of liability that they absorb 100% of the risk for using this service. But I'm saying that is not uncommon. That is often found in municipal service provision throughout the state of Maryland. But again, it's a political decision. If you feel that's unfair for whatever reason, I don't necessarily think it's unfair. I think users there are other ways to shift the risk on their part or to obtain insurance. But I see your point. If you want to also pay for the gas and the bus and the services and maybe the bus driver and the insurance, you're welcome to do so as in your provision of municipal services. But just seems to me we just need to do a little more investigation. Thank you.
Ms. Barber, can you find that out for us?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next on the agenda. Speed camera ordinance.
Right. So the speed camera ordinance, ordinance number 2021-03 is on this agenda because at the work session, I mentioned to you all that Gasco, who I believe is on the line this evening, had stated that they could not perform the traffic analysis without an ordinance by the town. And that you all gave me the approval at the work session to have Mr. Best work on the traffic speed camera ordinance, and he expeditiously completed it. And so I wanted to get it on this agenda so that you all would have an opportunity to look at it. And if you had any questions, to ask Mr. Best. And it would also be on the work session for your further discussion, but Mr. Best does not attend our work session, so he would not be available until the first reader to answer any questions. So if you all haven't had an opportunity to look at the ordinance, we certainly can just put it on the work session for August for you all to review and discuss absent of council, and then discuss it with Mr. Best if you have any questions at this first town hall meeting in August with the first reader of the ordinance.
Can you bring the ordinance up, please? Are there any questions or comments?
I think I agree with the idea of let's look at this and bring it back up at the next work session, unless there's some need to move fast on it. It's fairly detailed.
Yeah, I think it's like 16 pages or something. I definitely haven't had a chance to read over it. I think we just got it today. It's my first time seeing it.
Yeah, me too.
Is everyone okay with us tabling it until next month? So we'll have a chance to read over it.
Commissioner Givens, I'm okay with it.
Same,
Commissioner?
I'm okay with it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll come back. We'll table this one for now and come back next month and talk about it. Okay. Ms. Barber, you ready to give your updates?
I don't have any updates except for, I think you and I had discussed whether or not you all wanted to have Cottage City Day. So I did write myself a note to bring that up since it wasn't specifically on the agenda.
Yes.
Typically staff starts planning for it in June, like the May, June time period, because we have to reserve any of the large apparatus for water games and things like that. But we didn't do that this year because of COVID and because we were still not released from the mask mandates and things like that. And we thought it would be rather difficult for children and participants to social distance on those types of events. We did talk about some alternatives for Cottage City Day internally as staff, but certainly we will listen to whatever you all decide to do and move forward with that implementation, whatever that is.
Okay. So yeah, I think we need to just go ahead and decide if we're not gonna do it, then we need to let the residents know, maybe put something on the website or put something in the newsletter so people will know not to be looking for it, because we have been having a couple of outdoor events. We've had a few. So I know we had the soccer camp, and I know Commissioner Armache did her wellness with the youth um workshop. So if we're not going to have Cottage City Day, I think we need to just go ahead and make that decision. Because I mean, it sounds like we keep putting it off and putting it off and saying, okay, well, let's wait and see. Wait and see. Well, it's getting down to the wire. If we're not going to do it, then we need to just go ahead and say, look, we're not doing it. Not this year.
Commissioner Givens, I'd rather not do it this year, and wait till next year in hopes that we can still do October for Halloween and Christmas. Things are a lot better.
How do others feel?
I agree.
Was that Commissioner Young?
I agree with Demetrius. It's too late to try to do it, and we still don't know what's happening with this Delta variant. So I agree. You know, we try to do something in October for Halloween and put this off till next year.
Commissioner Armache, how do you feel?
I agree. I mean, I think typically the Cottage City Day is just at the density of people. So.
Okay, so Ms. Barber, that's you have majority saying that we should wait till next year. So let's just make sure we get that out to the residents so they're aware. Next on the agenda is Public Works, but Mr. Pinckney is not on the call. So Ms. Barber, will you be covering that part of the agenda?
No, well, hold on for a second. Let me see. Greg did send me something before he left this evening. I believe it's a quote for the tree removal at 37th of Parkwood. If you just give me a minute to bring up my email.
Okay, and when you get a chance.
While she's going over that, I can tell you about the update on the gazebos as a part of Public Works.
Okay, Ms. Barber, when you get a chance, under the Public Works report for number C, can you make sure you put Parkwood Street and not, because it just says Parkwood, and you know, we have two. We have Parkwood Street and we have Parkwood Court. So I don't want to get it confused.
Yes, ma'am.
Demetrius, did you want to give your update on the gazebo?
Oh, so we've gotten to we prepped up everything for the gazebos in regards to the pavers, so they're ready to go in tomorrow. So we're right there. The pavers will be installed tomorrow, and the doors for the grill for the outdoor kitchen just came in, and so it's coming together. So by next week, I mean, because they still has a couple of steps after you put the pavers in, you have to put this locking paver sand and stuff like that in it, and so I would still say it'd probably be next week before it gets totally completed from that regard, you know. And I know Greg's out of town until next week. He's not coming in the rest of this weekend, but we're still going to do the pavers tomorrow with the staff that we have here, and I'll be coming in to help them with that. So the project is still coming along. So come take a look at it when you guys get a chance. I'll yield back.
Did you guys did you get some numbers for the tables or the benches or anything?
I looked online and they were $149 each, and they had a limited supply. So I did tell Greg about those, and told him that he needs to identify who's got them and, try to go ahead and secure those while we can before, because once they're seasonal. So once they sell out, they won't bring any more back, and they'll be far more expensive if you have that special order. So
So 150 for both? Or
No.
for one?
each, they used to be 99, but I guess with the rise in the wood, and so they're selling them for 149 piece of 149.99 a piece. So if you wanted to get 3, that would be whatever that is, that number is. So.
Do we have enough space for 3? I thought we only had 2 gazebos.
Yeah, I would just get 2, to be honest with you, for now. And if we did something different, you always have opportunities for. I know that we still need to, once we get. I know we have a grant for the park, the tot lot, but it has a picnic table down there. Of course, I think it needs to be changed. So we could always envision fashioning doing something with that later on down the line. But I think I do agree with you. Probably should just go ahead and get 2 for now. Secure 2 for this year. I yield back.
Okay. Miss Barbara, did you guys find some money to get the picnic tables?
Yes, ma'am. We'll take it out of the building fund.
Okay. You ready to go over the
Right. So it looks like there were 2 quotes for the removal of the tree. American Landscaping, who is the firm that we use that does the current tree pruning that's larger than what the guys can do and does our grass mowing, submitted a quote for $2,005 to remove the tree and grind the stump down, add topsoil to fill in the grade and prepare for seeding and seed the area. The second quote is from Timberline Tree Service Incorporated. I'm not familiar with them, but I'm sure Greg is, and that's why he got the quote from them. Their quote is for a total of $2,320 $2,320 for the removal of the tree, grinding, backfilling, and they do not soil and seed. So it would appear that American Landscaping is the lower of the 2 at $2,005.
We've used Timberland. They're really good.
Chairman Wheatley,
Yes.
this is Attorney Best. I had a question. Can you describe, Madam Town Manager, where the tree is located? Is it in the public right of way? Has someone looked at a plat? Is it for certain that it's not on private property? And is it a street tree regulated by DNR?
I can respond to that.
Go ahead.
Because I noticed one says corner of 37th and Parkwood, and we need to be clear that it's 37th Place and Parkwood Street, and it is on the public part outside the sidewalk. Greg looked at it. The tree's pretty much totally dead, and according to Greg, it is one that the town would be responsible for between the sidewalk and the street.
Okay, thank you.
And Mr. Best, we have applied for our permit from DNR.
Very nice. Thank you.
Okay.
So I apologize. At this point, I'll entertain any other questions that I'm able to answer, and I guess ask whether or not you all would approve the removal of the tree based on these 2 quotes, or if you all wanted to get an additional 3rd quote.
Well, as Chair Wheatley has known of Timberline, and they have a lower rate, and they did good work before. Seems like we ought to go with them.
They
At a
do not
higher-
have the lower,
No,
they are
they're,
higher.
they're higher. They're higher.
Oh, I thought theirs was lower than when the, never mind what I said, pardon me, excuse me.
I think American Landscaping is our landscaper that does the grass cuttings, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, well then. They sound good.
So
Yeah,
Commissioner, I make a motion that we grant American Landscaping $2,000, $2,005 to remove the tree at 37th at Parkwood Place.
Is there a second?
37th Place in Parkwood Street.
Yes, 37th Place in Parkwood Street. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. Call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Commissioner
Aye.
Gonzalez,
Aye. Commissioner Wheatley. I believe that. Thanks. I believe that motion passes. Ms. Barber, did you want it to do the sprinkler system?
So I'm just trying to pull up um, the agenda again. I apologize. But I will
There's
just say
also
about
an-
this. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, the thing that I had wanted to add on was sort of related to the tree, as the request came from the same family, and that had to do with another street light, which we would have to pay for. And Greg was going to drive down there at night and look at the situation, and I also did that. And it is darker in the area that it's been requested. And I noticed when I went by there that it's dark enough that the people across the street from the family that requested this light had actually put in on their front yard a smaller, sort of yard light to try to make up for the darkness. But that doesn't really get that much across the street. So it would be down the street a bit from where that tree is, on the opposite side of the street, because I think that's where all the street lights are. But speaking as a Ward 1 commissioner and having looked at that area at night, it does seem like a good idea to get that street light. Now, we could put this off until Greg gets back, because he may have other thoughts on it. But that sort of went with the tree issue. So I wanted to make sure I at least mentioned it tonight.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Barber, you ready?
Yes, ma'am. So the only update that we wanted to give you was that the sprinkler system is installed and that it's working fine. It's a smart sprinkler system in so much as Mr. Pinckney has the ability to control the sprinkler system from his phone, and he has the ability remotely to see when the sprinkler system comes on, when it goes off. If additional sprays are needed, other than the ones that are programmed, he has the ability to do that from his phone as well. And it also has the ability to recognize when it's rained and to not come on. So I just wanted to let you all know that about the system.
Okay, thank you. So do we still need to discuss the light on Parkwood Street?
No, ma'am, I believe we have good enough information for staff to get moving on that. I can contact Pepco tomorrow. I forgot the young man's name. I know his first name is Tony.
Perez?
No. At Pepco. Anyway,
Tony
I'll
Ruffin.
contact him tomorrow and get the
You're
ball
talking about
rolling
Tony
now.
Ruffin? You're talking about
Excuse me?
Tony. You're talking about Tony Ruffin?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Mr. Ruff. And
Yeah.
get the ball rolling. You know, we are still back and forth with them about the light on Cottage Terrace. So hopefully this latest interaction with him will be more fruitful and expedite both of these requests.
There's probably a few other areas in town that could use additional lighting.
Commissioner Gibbons.
Yes.
I've been trying to get a light on Cottage Terrace on the other side of 38th Street. It's very, very dark there. There was a time where we were having problems of prostitution right there. Got complaints from those people that live along that street. It's the same street that Ann lives on, but a little bit further up to the right. And so I'd like to have that reconsidered as well. Commissioners in the past have considered it, but then nothing was ever done. So I yield back.
Thank you. Maybe we could, is the chief still on?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Is it possible that maybe you could give us like a recommendation on where we could lighting? Additional lighting
Yep.
in the town?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We can do a light survey for the hotel.
Okay, great. Thank you. All righty. There's no further questions. We can go to the police department update.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be very quickly with mines. The drainage of 43rd Avenue, we were able to do pretty much a walk around. I wasn't able to go out with the team, but the team went out, the staff and CPJ Representative Robin went out on last week to actually check the areas that need attention in reference to drainage issues, to come up with a list to present to the commission, well, hopefully by next month, on some of our areas where we want to focus our efforts to correct once we get that funding from the federal relief package. So that's going to tie in 43rd Avenue with some of the changes that we want to do with the drainage of the side alleys, as well as 43rd Street at the corner of 43rd and Bladensburg Road. So we're trying to go ahead and come up with a list to present to y'all, hopefully by the next work session next month. In reference to speeding, our officers have done some enforcement on 38th Avenue and Bladensburg Road. Training for this month, we had police mountain bike training. All the officers attended that. We had trike training. All the officers were certified to use the trike. We are using the trike right now, actually moving around the community. NIBRS training was PFC Marino and Angela. Both of them went through that training. We had events. We had 3 vaccination events last month through GoVax, which were pretty successful for the size that came out. When I spoke to the military, they said sometimes they don't get about 10 to 15. I think the first time we had close to 70 people that showed up to get vaccinated, the first vaccination. The second one we had a little bit less, something like 30. And then we had them at the last event, which was last Saturday. We had GoVax out there once again to give out vaccinations to those that wanted to be vaccinated. Our explorers, they've been training every Thursday instead of Friday. We had one car wash. Well, actually, we had one car wash fundraiser in in June. The explorers, of course, are still assisting with our delivery of our food. We had a canoe trip with our explorers on the Anacostia River. They also assisted with the community vaccination events. Bike with the Chief is still going on every Tuesday. The last 2 Tuesdays, we didn't have it due to the fact of I was pretty much out of commission one Tuesday, and last Tuesday we're trying to focus on something else. We average 10 miles when we do the bike with the chief. Walk with the Sarge is still going on every Tuesday at 10 a.m. They average 4 miles. We still asking for people to volunteer to come out to, well, not volunteer, to come out to actually walk with the Sarge in the mornings. Silver Track, we did pretty good with Silver Track. We did 1,080 checkpoints for the month of June. I had to change that. It's supposed to be June, not March. I apologize for that. But the month of June, we had 1,080 checkpoints. Also, pretty much we have our duties that we're doing on a constant basis. You can read that later on. In reference to code, code has addressed 20 violations with warnings with high grass and open storage, 18 were in compliance, 2 non-compliance. He did training on the Silver Track system, which he uses to actually take pictures and document some of the violations we have in the town. He has been monitoring 5 of the vacant houses. We do have a big concern with our vacant houses right now, but he's staying on top of it in reference to the owners of cutting the grass. So we're on top of that. We are working with some citizens in reference to they need assistance cutting the grass. We did find a couple volunteers to come out to help some of the senior citizens that have problems cutting the grass, as well as we have one senior citizen that's paying for a lawn service to come in at a discount rate. So we do have volunteers, and we do have a couple landscaping companies that are willing to come in to give discounts to those who need the grass cut. We are working with other people in reference to some of their violations. We give them more time. We are working with people in reference to some of their concerns. The concerns are coming in on a constant basis in reference to overgrowth and open storage. A lot of people leaving their tools as well as kids' toys in the front yard. So we're working with these residents to actually, try to maintain their yards in reference to open storage issues. And we're working with them with that. We did get the new hangers for the doors in reference to pretty much a reminder. It's not warnings, it's called reminder. We put them on the doors in reference to people that the grass is kind of high. We kind of remind them first before we give them a warning, give them more time to actually try to address those issues. Starting in July, you see we have some of the new, programs as well as assignments or tasks I have provided for the officers to do. You can read that on your leisure. It's pretty much their responsibilities for those tasks to be conducted. And so if you have questions about seniors or something like that, or training for our businesses, each one of the officers have assignments to address those needs of our community. And that's pretty much it. We did have a successful event. We partnered with several nonprofits as well as police departments in the area to have an event last week to try to steer juvenile crime. Juvenile crime went up during COVID, especially carjackings and violent crimes. So we did a youth summit last Saturday. It was very successful. We had over probably 200 participants in the event. We gave out armbands, so we know how many people were there. We had something like 110 juveniles, and pretty much we had like almost 90 to 100 adults that participated in the event. It was very successful. We had fun activities for the kids. We try to show them how important it is to go back out and have exercise to actually get out their anxiety and their stress. We have been working along with Commissioner Armache. She has a youth stress program, meditation program that's very successful. A lot of our kids have come and joined her program, and we're trying to actually give the kids alternatives to manage their stress and have fun as COVID opens back up. Some of the things. We also did soccer with Sarge last week, which was very successful. We had over 30 kids that showed up for that. We had a great time with the kids coming out to learn how to play soccer. And pretty much we want to have a couple more events coming down the pike. Our explorers went on a field trip today to a go-kart track as well as skating. They had a great time. Next week, they're supposed to go to the pool. The week after that, they're going bowling. So we try to do something with the explorers on once a week, just to give them some activities because they work very hard the whole year long, helping us with the food giveaways. So we try to make sure we do some outings with them so they can have fun this summer. I'm open for questions or concerns.
I will say that I
Um,
attended the youth summit and it was very nice. I think Chief and his explorers and the officers all did a great job. It was very nice, well attended, and I'm sure the kids had a great time. It was a lot of fun. Go ahead, Commissioner Young.
yeah, I just wanted to thank you for doing all the activities with the kids, especially, and also the vaccination days. Those were great. I really appreciate those, and I'm sure a lot of people do. I did want to just give you one report. I did get a complaint that people are speeding on Cottage Terrace, on my side of Cottage Terrace. I hadn't noticed that, but I'm not always in the front yard. So if you can watch that area a little bit. This person actually asked for speed bumps to be put in. And we haven't talked about speed bumps in a long time, and I don't know whether other parts of town have this same problem, but I did want to let you know about the report of speeding on Cottage Terrace.
Well, Commissioner Young, you're right. Right now, we have I guess a lot of people going back to work now, Commissioner Young, and we've been getting several complaints in reference to Ward 1, the cut-throughs where people are cutting through, not trying to stand on line for the light and cutting through your part of the town. So we want to try to start doing some enforcement over there at the stop sign and also try to deter people from coming through the town. I will talk to Mr. Pinckney when he gets back in reference to signage. No through signage for our community on that side, because right now a lot of people are cutting through on your side right now.
Well, they cut through the other side too, I know, but yeah,
it's been an increase, big time increase in Ward 1 right now.
right. Well, thank you.
So we're gonna look into both sides and try to get better signage and try to do some more enforcement.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. One last thing, we are trying to do a couple more youth activities before the end of the summer for the community. We're trying to make sure that we do it by COVID restriction policies. We're trying to do some water activities where we keep the kids cooler in the community. We think about going around doing some water activities on each street, as well as a big water event, probably the end of August before they go back to school. We're going to do a big one on the field. So once we get that plan, I'll make sure that I send it to the commissioners for their so I can see what's going on in the community. We try to keep our kids a little bit active, to keep them out of trouble and them having fun on summer.
Commissioner Givens, can you have, I'm not sure, I think it's probably code enforcement, to have the people that live on the corner of 40th and Bladensburg Road. I'm walking down the street. I've been realizing it, but I keep forgetting to tell you. Oh, it's 44,000 Bladensburg Road. They're in the back, their parking lot area where those cars across the street park over in that lot. The rocks have gotten all out to the sidewalk and nobody cleans them up and puts them back into the yard or whatever. And it looks a mess and somebody can actually fall, especially when it rains and stuff like that. If they're out on the sidewalk like that. So if you take a look at that, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yield back.
No problem. I'll take care of that.
Any other questions, comments for the police chief?
Oh, I have one more thing. So the dead end of Cottage Terrace, the dead end of the Cottage Terrace, we are going to be putting signs up down there, as well as paint the curb shortly. So in the next couple of weeks, we will be down there painting the curb so people know not to park. And also we want to paint a loading zone for the people that come and frequent the garden. the Carter City Garden. So we will have a loading zone at that location painted. So it'd be visible for people to know exactly where to park. I mean, not park, where to stop to load the vehicles, unload the vehicles, and no parking areas.
Thank you, Chief.
No problem.
And as Commissioner Young said, thank you for all the hard work you guys are doing. Next is Ward 1. Commissioner Young, did you want to give your report now?
I don't think I really have anything else other than the things I've already mentioned. So thank you.
Thank you. Ward 2, Commissioner Armache, anything to report out?
Nothing other than just to say that the stress management camp has been great. And I just want to say that this program is not just for youth, it's actually for anybody. And I've kind of adapted it to work with the teenagers. But the officers have been participating as well, which has been really great. I'd say each session, at least one of the officers has been there. Chief has had the chance to sit in on parts of a couple of the sessions, and they have received it really well. And I think it's been really helpful for them. So we'll be finishing that out tomorrow and Friday. Other than that, I don't think I have any other comments or questions.
Thank you. So next is Ward 3 report, which would be me. And only thing I see under my name is town logo shirts. It should be shirts and hats, like the baseball hats. So this past Saturday, when we when the police department did the youth summit, of course it was outside. It was on the big soccer field. It was extremely hot, but it was nice because there was a nice little breeze blowing, so it wasn't too bad. Actually, the weather was pretty nice, to be honest with you. But I noticed that lately, especially with the explorers and with the events that Commissioner Armache has done recently, we're doing more outside events. Now this stuff is starting to open up a little bit. And I wanted to see how you guys felt about maybe getting some town logo shirts or baseball caps for the commissioners, because I know most people know the staff because of their uniforms, but we don't really have uniforms as elected officials. But I was thinking maybe we could get some shirts or some polos or something, or some baseball hats to kind of identify us as part of the town. I guess we are considered staff, even though we're elected officials. So I just wanted to see if anyone would be interested in getting some kind of logo for us.
Commissioner Givens, I agree.
Thank you, Commissioner Givens.
I-
Anyone?
I've still got a couple of shirts from past years. So I don't really need any more, but I mean, I don't have any objection if you want to get more,
Thank you.
but I don't really. Okay. That's it.
Okay. Commissioner Armache?
I personally am very picky, and I don't really like to wear t-shirts ever. I don't like having my armpits covered. I would be open to a hat. If we were gonna do shirts, I would definitely want it to be, you know, light. Those polos that were issued to us before, the material is very thick.
Yes.
I cannot see myself wearing something like that in the heat of summer, and I really
Yes.
don't want to wear a t-shirt, to be honest, unless I'm absolutely forced to. It's
Well, it doesn't have to be a t-shirt per se, but I totally agree.
Get off.
Those shirts are very thick and they're very hot. They are very hot. So that's why another reason why I was thinking maybe we could try something instead of the shirts, or maybe some different material, or just the baseball hats. It's good for sun protection too. So
Yeah.
Uh,
All cotton would be cooler than the mix of cotton and put
Is it
together.
polyester or something? I don't know what kind of material.
Polyester. Yeah, it's a mix of cotton and polyester. Those are hotter, I think, than just if you get all cotton.
Yeah, they're extremely hot.
Whatever you want to do.
Okay, there's also a suggestion for pins to wear your that came from Mr. Proctor. Okay, so Miss Barber, you could
Yes,
maybe
ma'am.
find something maybe that we could look at or wear.
Commissioner Givens, I'll bring you over a shirt that I had done, and the fabric and see if you like. It's all cotton. I actually like the other ones better because they seem like they're a little bit more heavier and durable. But so that you'll have something to compare it against. And they're actually I got 50 for $250. So, but it's only like one color though, you know. It's one color shirt and then one color ink, you know. But you can do more, but then it will be more, cost more. But I yield back. I'll just drop it off and let them check it out, and then you guys
Okay.
can see what you want to do. Thank you.
All right. What would you like to give a report?
Oh, okay, yeah. I'd like to just acknowledge the passing of former Commissioner Donna Hayes. She passed away recently, and she served on the commission for 2 years, and a lifelong resident of Cottage City. And so I want to acknowledge and appreciate her service and her years of being a resident here in town. So I'm not sure if they're doing any services for her, but I know that we are putting something. Sue Bruner and Denise Hemler are putting something together for the newsletter along with Brittany in our town office. So, and I want to also thank the chief and the explorers. They've been doing an amazing job. I'm getting a lot of feedback from residents that really like the work that's being done here in the town by our police department and their volunteers. And so we really appreciate that work. I don't think I've already given the other thing, so I don't really think I have anything else in regards to that. So thank you. I yield back.
Thank you, Commissioner Givens. There's a couple of things in the chat, so I'm trying to read the chat and that as well. But and thank you, Demetrius, for mentioning Donna. That I'm glad you did say something. I think I had forgotten. We've had a few of our senior folks pass in recent weeks. So it's really sad to hear of us losing another person. Let's see. Looks like Commissioner Armache wanted to say something else. Is that right? Yes. Artist?
Yes, I just wanted to, Joshua Durant was asking for updates about the tot lot. And I don't remember if it was mentioned that we did get the grant. So I think we found out within the past week or so that we did get a grant for the tot lot. We have met Commissioner Uri and Greg from Public Works, and I met with another woman within the past week to entertain some designs. She sent more for us to look at. So we're still, in the beginning of the process, but I think that I believe you're still going to entertain public comments once more at the end. Josh Durant may want to say more or ask more than that. His comment to me was that there's a group of neighbors who would like an opportunity to provide input during the design process, if there's a possibility to do so. So I would just say directly in response to that Danielle and I are the commissioners that are, kind of working on that project. So certainly I think we could work out a way to keep people in the loop or even provide some input or, so, yeah. And am I correct, Wanda? You're still going to open up for public comment once more at the end?
Yes, we did get approved for the grant. Department of Public Works, they just, they're hearing and they approved our request for the $50,000. So yes, we did receive it. And yes, we can open it back up for public comments, especially since Commissioner Yuri is not here, so we won't be able to hear her report. I did see something in the chat though from Mr. Best in regards to the curb painting and street signage down at the end of Cottage Terrace by the garden. So of course, we all know that before we do anything, we have to do either a resolution or ordinance. It needs to be published in the newsletter and all that good stuff. So, Mrs. Barbara.
Ma'am, excuse me. Commissioner Wheatley. Commissioner Wheatley.
Sounds like maybe her connection is having trouble.
Right. Well,
What would you like to say, Chief?
in reference to dead end, that's already posted, no parking. Its curb was never painted, so it's already a no parking zone. But in reference to, I guess the loading zone, we probably have to do a resolution for that. For the reference to no parking, paint the curbs. There's a hydrant there. We need to paint the curb for the hydrant as well as the no parking area. So it's already posted. There's no parking.
Yeah, there's no sign for the loading and unloading. So,
Right. The unloading and loading zone is the only thing we probably have to do a resolution for, but everything else is already posted as no parking. We just got to paint the curbs and paint the hydrant.
yeah, that's fine. But for the other part, we just need to do the resolution.
Yes, ma'am.
Hopefully you guys can hear me. I don't know why you couldn't hear me before. I know I don't talk that loud. Let's see, what's next? Okay.
Mr. Weasley, I have one more thing.
Go ahead.
All right, you got a lot of feedback from your side. In reference to this weekend, I believe someone from the design team is coming out to actually walk the park, community park. So that's one we're gonna have a representative from PAB or there you go, it's much better. Yeah, in reference
I muted her.
Okay. In reference to this weekend, I believe someone from the design committee for park services is supposed to come out to actually walk the park. I'm not gonna be here. I just want to know if either Commissioner Armache or one of the commissioners can be out there to walk with them to answer any questions. Can they try and prepare for the big meeting they want to have with the community? So I'm not gonna be there, but if someone can be there with them, I can call in and talk while they're out there. But I definitely know they're supposed to come Saturday between 10 and 2.
Chief, this is Artis. I did respond to her today, telling her that I would be there, so I can. I'm around. I can go on Saturday.
And
I don't know if anybody else is planning to go, but I can go.
Right, and if possible, if you can give me a call, I can.
Sure. Yeah. If you want to
call
in or video chat in or whatever, absolutely, I'm happy to do that.
I just want to make sure somebody will be there because I'm not gonna be able to be there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Thank you. That's all.
All right, this is the meeting with the park, with neighborhood design and the park.
Yes, ma'am. They're supposed to come out on Saturday between, I think, 10 and 2.
Yeah, I responded and said that I would be there when they sent us the email.
Oh, great. I just want to make sure somebody will be there. Thank you.
Oh, so Commissioner Givens. Also, we need to revisit the signage for for the town of Cottage City. The sign at the corner of Eastern Avenue and Blainsburg Road. was damaged about 2 years ago. And we need to kind of reconsider putting that back up, or putting a new one back up in the design of the new type of signage. I actually like the signage with the gold leaf and all that, but I mean, it's ultimately up to the commission to make that decision. But if we could start looking at that in the next few months, so we can kind of get that done at some point, that'd be great. Thank you. I yield back.
Thank you. Okay, are there any comments from the public at this time? I'll give you a few seconds to unmute yourself.
Hi, yes, this is Josh Durant. I don't know if is it okay to speak?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd just like to say I appreciate Commissioner Armachet's update on the tot lot. And yeah, there is a group of parents who are excited about all the changes that are going to be happening at tot lot, who have kids who use that tot lot regularly, or will be of age soon to use that tot lot. So we would appreciate the opportunity to maybe give input at some point as those designs are being finalized. And so I can reach out to Commissioners Uri and Armache to learn more and sort of figure out what to do. But we're excited about that tot lot. So it's great that we got funding. I also just want to say, as we think about the community center, I know we've talked about a playground facility that would accompany the community center, and it'd be great if that playground facility could be part of or on par with the various imagination playgrounds scattered throughout the county. The closest of those is probably in Cheverly, but they're all sort of themed. Obviously, it won't be on the scale of Watkins Regional Park or Walker Mill, but those imagination playgrounds are fantastic. And as we're thinking about the design for the community center, it'd be great if we could use that as a sort of a model. So that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Josh. Are there any other comments from the public at this time?
Hello, this is David Proctor, and I had a comment. I just want to echo what everything Josh said, so totally support. And I also wanted to make a note about the sidewalk outside of the townhomes. The lack thereof, excuse me. There's not a sidewalk that leads from one side of the townhomes into the park there. And I was wondering, I don't know if that's an issue with the Hamlet Park townhomes, or if that's the city, if there could be a connecting sidewalk on the townhouse side to connect to the park there. When we walk to the park, we have to cross the street and then kind of cross back over, or walk on the street from the townhome. So just trying to find out if there was a way to get a sidewalk there.
I can tell you that part of the land does not belong to the townhouses. Our land stops right before you get to the curb. So I don't know if that's park and planning or if it's the town, but it's not in the park, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately. But it is a good idea.
Okay, yeah, because we, when we take our son or anything like that, or I've seen other people, they have to walk on the street to get to the park. And I think that would be helpful for safety. And, it tends to be a busier intersection with people cutting through, like Chief was talking about earlier. So I think that would be definitely something to look into. That's my suggestion. Thank you.
Yeah, because I think there's a sidewalk on the opposite side, but there's a sidewalk on the park side for.
Right. Right. And people people tend to go the path of least resistance, and if that means walking on the street, they'll do that. But if we had a sidewalk there, I think they'd use it.
Yeah, because I've on my way coming home, there's usually, there may be someone walking in the street, and literally there's nowhere for them to go but up into the grass. So yeah, you're right. Let's see. It looks like someone raised their hand. Miss Barbara.
Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
I apologize. I just saw a note on my desk that I had talked with Denise Ross from the county executive office today about doing a meeting with her. And I needed to see if you all are available on the afternoon of August the 28th, if you could check your schedules and just let me know if that would work for you to meet with Denise, who's our municipal liaison to the county executive's office.
Did she give you a? That's a Saturday.
No, it's a July the 28th is a Wednesday.
You said August though.
Oh, I apologize. I meant to say July.
At what time?
The time is open to whatever fits best for you all schedule. But anytime after 12, she said.
Okay, I have a meeting at 7 in the evening, but I probably could do 12.
I can probably also.
Sorry, Consuelo, you said August 28th, that's a Saturday?
No, I apologize. I meant to say July 28th.
Oh, okay.
It's a Wednesday.
July 28th daytime, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
At noon?
Yes, ma'am. Right now, it seems like noon seems to be a good working time for Commissioners Wheatley and Young.
Yeah, that works for me as well.
Okay, I'll go ahead and set that up. It will be a Zoom meeting, so you can just hop on, and if you need to hop off, that'll be fine. And she just wants to let you all know about her role and responsibility as a municipal liaison to the county executive's office, and to find out if there are things that we need from the county executive's office. So it'd be an opportunity to mention to her some of the things that have been dealing with the county that we may need some more assistance with, and to see how she can help us move things along with certain projects. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments from the public at this time? Mr. Best, were you trying to say something?
yes, Madam Chair, I have the plat of Hamlet Park that shows all the improvements in Hamlet Park and in the environs or the adjoining property. So that might help answer your question about the sidewalk.
Okay.
If you'd like a copy or anyone else like a copy, let me know. I'll email it to you.
No, I have a copy. Thank you. If anyone else would like a copy, you can email it to them. Well, there's no further comments. We do have to go into a closed session. And I need to get the form in front of me, and I just had it. Okay. All right. So if there are no more comments or questions for us tonight, we do need to go into closed session, as I said. And I will be reading the statutory authority, giving this body the authority to go into closed session. So where am I starting from? Oh, statutory authority to go into closed session. This meeting will be closed under general provisions, Article 3-305B, to consider acquisition of real property for a public purpose and matters directly related thereto. And I believe that's the only thing we'll be discussing in the closed session. So I will entertain a motion to go into closed session. Is there a motion? Hi, Josh.
I'll move. I
Uh,
move we go into. Did you already get a motion?
then I was entertaining a motion, but I saw a comment came up. And yeah. So we're working on it, Josh. We're working on it. Okay, Commissioner Young, were you making a motion to go into a closed session?
Yes, I move we go into closed session based on the section you referenced.
Is there a second?
Commissioner Gibbons, our second.
Okay. All right, call for closed session. All in favor, say aye.
Commissioner Gibbons, aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Wheatley, aye. It is 8:46. So we are now, thank you everyone for attending. Have a good evening. Good night. 8:46. Miss Barber,
Yes, ma'am.
is Miss Melinda's gonna be on this
She's
call,
not,
right?
yeah, she's
I'm
on
on
the call. She's not necessary for the closed session.
I'm on the call. I was gonna ask, did you want me to stay in the closed session or drop off? I can drop off if I'm not supposed to be in it.
Yes, ma'am, that'd be fine. Thank you for attending tonight.
Wait a minute, hold on. I was gonna say, I think since we're talking about the house, we probably do need the treasurer.
Okay,
Okay,
Does anyone disagree with me? Since we're talking
No, I
about
don't
the
disagree.
money? Right, we're talking about the money, right? So I think we need our treasurer. Thank you, you can stay. If you can't, we understand.
no, I can stay.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Sure.
We have Mr. Best. Looks like we have the commissioners. The town hall is the camera, right, Miss Barbara?
yes, ma'am, I have to go and turn it off since Greg's not here, okay?
Okay, we'll wait for you. And you stopped the recording too, right?
No, ma'am, I have not stopped the recording yet.
Okay, well, when you
I
get
can
a
do
chance,
that though. I'll pause it.
Thanks,
Does,
Kevin, by the way.
thank you, Mr. Best and Melinda. Thank you both. Thank you
Yes,
for
thank
hanging
you
on
both.
with us and hanging out with us tonight.
You're welcome.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you. Can someone make a motion for us to, I gotta read this form first, though. Then we can do the other thing. 9:31, we came
Don't you
out
read,
of,
go back and open,
yeah, that's what I'm getting ready to do. I'm getting ready to read this so we can go back into
but don't
open.
we have to go back into open first?
Yes,
We're
you
in,
do.
well, we're going into opening now.
Okay, I move we go into open session, back into open session.
Yeah, I was trying to get out. Can I get a motion? That's what I was trying to get
I so
out.
move. I so move.
Is there a second? I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. We are now back in open session, 9:32. Let me just read this one statement.
Also that Demetrius left.
Yeah, I'm gonna acknowledge everybody who was there and everybody who wasn't. So going back to my document. Statutory authority to come out of closed session. So this meeting was closed under General Provisions, Article 3-305B. 2, consider acquisition of real property for a public purpose and matters directly related thereto. Those in attendance were Commissioners Wheatley, Young, Givens, Armache. Commissioner Yuri was not present for the closed session. Commissioner Givens had to leave prior to the session ending. Also in attendance were the town manager, Ms. Barber, the town attorney, Mr. Best, and the town treasurer, Ms. Hill Williams. Let's see. And I believe that's it. I don't think I have anything else to say or do, other than we can now adjourn our open portion of the meeting.
I move we adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time.
Good night, everyone.
Good night,
Good
everyone.
night.
Everyone, bye-bye.
Good night.